Have you ever been told you're too old to do something? Here's what most people don't realize. If you're between 65 and 85 years old and can still do a few simple things, you may be far healthier and more youthful than anyone imagines. Doctors, aging experts, and researchers all agree that certain physical, mental, and emotional abilities can actually predict how long you might live. They're not fancy tests you'll find in a clinic, but they're real markers that matter more than most people think. What we're about to explore are 6 signs that show you're aging with strength, grace, and longevity, the kinds of signals that medical professionals quietly celebrate when they see them in their older patients. Why? Because they point to deep systems in your body still working beautifully: your heart, your brain, your balance, your nervous system, even your emotional intelligence. If you can still do any of these things, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're what researchers call an exceptional ager, part of the quiet few who live longer and better. So whether you're 65, 72, or even 85 and beyond, these 6 abilities may just make you feel a whole lot prouder of the life you're living. The first sign might surprise you with its simplicity. One of the clearest signals that your body is still holding onto its youthful resilience is this: you can stand on one foot for at least 10 seconds without wobbling, grabbing a chair, or feeling like you're going to fall. It might sound almost silly. After all, most people never think to try it, but this simple action reveals something far deeper than balance. It shows the strength of your core, the coordination of your muscles, and even the health of your brain. As we age, balance becomes one of the first systems to quietly weaken. It happens gradually. You don't notice it when you're sitting or even walking a straight line, but when you ask your body to stabilize itself on one foot, something we did easily as children, it suddenly becomes clear if the internal wiring is still sharp or starting to falter. Here's what makes this test so revealing: this one movement engages your nervous system, inner ear, the muscles in your legs, and the proprioception system in your joints that tells your brain where your body is in space. In other words, standing on one foot isn't just about your legs, it's about the entire communication network between your brain and body. Doctors now use this very test in geriatric screenings not just to check balance, but to quietly assess fall risk, cardiovascular health, and even overall mortality. In fact, one recent study published in a leading medical journal found that older adults who couldn't maintain a 10-second one-leg stance had a significantly higher chance of dying over the next decade compared to those who could. That's a sobering statistic, but it's also empowering. If you can do this, even just for 10 seconds, it means you've preserved something many others haven't: strength and neural control. Take Carol, a 78-year-old who attended weekly fitness classes at her local community center. The instructor had everyone do a balance test at the start of each month. Carol, who had spent years walking her dog every morning and practicing gentle yoga twice a week, could not only stand on one foot, she could close her eyes and hold it for nearly 20 seconds. But here's the deeper truth behind this ability: if you can still do this in your late 60s, 70s, or even 80s, it shows that you haven't lost trust in your own body. That's huge. Many seniors begin to fear falling, and that fear alone leads them to stop moving, which only weakens their balance further. But if you're still able to lift one foot and hold steady, it suggests that confidence and capability are still alive and well in you. The second sign reveals something even more profound about your independence. There's one simple movement that quietly separates the frail from the fit: getting up off the floor without using your hands. It might seem like an odd thing to test. After all, how often do we sit on the floor these days? But this one action tells doctors, therapists, and longevity researchers more about your long-term health than most people realize. This ability is often called the sit and rise test. You begin seated cross-legged on the floor and then rise to your feet without pushing off with your hands, knees, or arms. It's harder than it sounds. Most people who haven't practiced it regularly will instinctively brace themselves or reach for a nearby object to help. But those who can rise smoothly, relying only on their legs and core, are showing something truly powerful. Their body is still in sync, strong, and balanced. Why does this matter so much? Researchers in Brazil followed over 2,000 people aged 51 to 80 for several years and found that those who could complete the sit and rise movement without assistance had a much lower risk of dying during the follow-up period than those who couldn't. The movement engages multiple systems at once: cardiovascular, musculoskeletal, and neurological. It takes strength, but also joint health, balance, and confidence. But there's something else this movement reveals, something even more important than strength or balance. It reveals independence. The ability to get yourself up off the floor without help is one of the clearest signs that you're still able to take care of yourself in a practical way. It means that if you were to fall while reaching for something under the couch or lose your balance while gardening, you could recover without panic or helplessness. Take Leonard, for instance. He's 82 and lives in a small home in Kansas. Every morning he sits on a mat to stretch. "If I can still get off this mat by myself," he says, "I know I can keep living in this house." That's not just physical, it's emotional too. It's a deep-rooted sense of autonomy, and it's one of the strongest predictors of a longer, healthier, happier life. The third sign happens entirely in your mind, yet it's just as telling. There's a quiet kind of brilliance in being able to say, "My doctor's appointment is next Wednesday at 10 o'clock, and not have to check your calendar or phone every few hours to make sure. If you're between 65 and 85 and can still remember important dates, times, or even little details without needing to jot them down, that's a sign your cognitive engine is still firing strong. Now, don't get me wrong, there's absolutely nothing wrong with writing things down. Using lists, calendars, or sticky notes is a smart strategy that helps all of us, especially as we age. But what we're talking about here is a mental sharpness that allows some seniors to retain information in their minds without needing a physical reminder. This ability reflects far more than just memory. It's about how well your brain is processing, organizing, and storing information in real time. Memory isn't just about recalling things. It's also about focus, processing speed, and short-term storage. If your brain can take in an appointment time and hold on to it through distractions, meals, phone calls, and even naps, it means your mental systems are well coordinated. And that coordination doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of a lifetime of engagement, curiosity, and mental flexibility. According to researchers at the University of California, seniors who maintain strong memory performance are more likely to retain their independence and avoid cognitive decline. In other words, remembering your appointments without help isn't just convenient, it's a powerful sign that your brain is aging gracefully, staying strong and protecting you. And let's not forget the confidence that comes with this. For many older adults, forgetting things can lead to anxiety or even embarrassment. But when you can keep track of your own schedule, you carry yourself differently. You trust yourself more. You feel capable, clear, and confident. That matters because mental confidence often drives physical vitality. The fourth sign is something you probably do multiple times a day without thinking about it. There's something remarkably telling about the simple motion of rising from a chair without using your hands. To the average eye, it might look like no big deal, but in the world of aging and longevity, it's a major indicator. If you can still stand up from a seated position using only your legs, without gripping the armrests or pushing off your knees, you're not just physically strong, you're functionally youthful. Why does this matter so much? Because that motion uses several systems all at once. Your core has to engage. Your thighs and glutes need to fire, your balance system must coordinate to keep you upright. It's not just a leg thing, it's a full-body symphony. Being able to do it well into your senior years tells us that your mobility, muscle tone, coordination, and even your nervous system are working in harmony. Here's the deeper layer most people miss. Being able to do this often means your body is free from hidden pain or stiffness that might otherwise go unnoticed. For many older adults, arthritis, hip tightness, or lower back issues creep in slowly, and standing up becomes more of a struggle than they let on. They might compensate without even realizing it, rocking forward, using momentum, or grabbing onto furniture. But if you can just lean forward and push through your legs without help, your body is telling you, we're still in good shape. Studies back this up. The Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy noted that seniors who maintain the ability to stand without upper body support tend to fall less often, live more independently, and score higher on general health markers. Beyond the physical, there's also a strong mental aspect. Being able to rise without assistance fosters a sense of independence. You don't feel like you have to wait for someone to lend a hand. The fifth sign might seem mundane, but it's actually a powerful predictor of longevity. There's a quiet kind of triumph in climbing a set of stairs without stopping, especially between the ages of 65 and 85. It might not feel like a monumental act, no medals are handed out for it, but in the world of healthy aging, this single ability speaks volumes. If you can go up a flight of stairs without needing to pause halfway, grip the railing for dear life, or catch your breath at the top, your body is sending a very clear message: you've still got plenty of gas in the tank. Let's look at what this movement really demands. First, your cardiovascular system needs to be strong enough to pump oxygen to your muscles. That means your heart and lungs are working together effectively. Then your legs, particularly your quads, hamstrings, and calves, have to have enough strength and endurance to handle the load. Your joints need to be mobile, your balance system needs to kick in, and your coordination has to stay on beat. In short, it's a full-body exercise hiding in plain sight. More importantly, your ability to climb stairs reflects more than physical strength, it shows metabolic resilience. Researchers at Duke University found that older adults who could climb stairs at a steady pace without stopping often had better blood pressure control, healthier arteries, and even improved cognitive scores. Why? Because the physical exertion required to manage stairs efficiently overlaps with the very systems that keep the brain alert, the blood flowing, and the body youthful. But here's something many overlook: it's not just about getting up the stairs, it's about how you feel when you reach the top. If you're not huffing and puffing, if your knees aren't wobbling, and if your chest isn't pounding like a drum, that's a powerful sign that your internal systems are aging more slowly than your calendar says. The sixth and final sign brings us full circle to where we started: your remarkable mind. Being able to remember your appointments, events, or even just what day of the week it is without needing to constantly check your calendar or sticky notes might seem like a small thing, but it's not. In fact, this ability says a great deal about the sharpness of your mind and the health of your brain. If you're between 65 and 85 and can still do this consistently, you're not just lucky, you're exceptional. Memory, especially working memory, is often one of the first cognitive functions to show signs of wear as we age. It's what allows you to mentally juggle pieces of information in the short term. Remembering that your doctor's appointment is next Thursday at 2 o'clock or that your grandson's school play is on Saturday afternoon requires a brain that's alert, attentive, and flexible. When these systems are intact, it means your brain is still firing on multiple levels. This isn't just about remembering dates, either. The act of recalling events and mentally organizing your days also involves your ability to concentrate, filter out distractions, and make sense of time, all key indicators of brain health. A study from Columbia University showed that seniors who could mentally track their weekly routines without written reminders were more likely to score higher on cognitive assessments and were less likely to develop signs of early dementia. And let's be honest, There's a sense of pride in not having to rely on your phone or notepad every time you make plans. It means your mental muscles are still strong. It means your brain is still doing its job without outsourcing it to technology. This kind of memory strength doesn't just make life easier, it makes you safer. It keeps you independent. It prevents missed medications, forgotten bills, or overlooked doctor visits. It protects your dignity and your ability to live on your own terms. If you've made it this far, then let me say this clearly, you are not ordinary. You're part of a rare group of older adults who refuse to let age define their limits. And that, my friend, is a treasure in itself. Many people think getting older means slowing down, forgetting things, or giving up on the joys of life. But what we've explored here shows something quite different. There are signs, quiet but powerful, that reveal when someone is not just aging, but thriving. Still moving with confidence, still thinking clearly, still remembering what matters, still rising to meet each day with purpose. If you're still doing these things, it means you're not just surviving, you're shining. It means your body is working in harmony, your mind is staying sharp, and your spirit hasn't dimmed one bit. You are not too old to thrive. You are not too late to start. And you are absolutely not done yet. So whether you recognized all 6 signs in yourself or just one, take that as a win. You're paying attention, you're learning, you're growing. And that mindset alone, that's the foundation for a long, vibrant life.